All right, let's get into the paper review this morning. So many interesting, disturbing in other areas, headlines this morning on the papers.
Yes.
And we have joining us to review the paper, leadership and communication strategist Dotun Ojon joining us as usual. Dotun, good morning.
Good morning, Mike.
Really nice to see you right now. Thank you.
Yes.
Right. We're back again with all of this. Let's start with the Punch newspaper. Aide is saying Buhari will consider his health before deciding on second term. And the president is not a frivolous person. If he thinks that his health cannot carry anything, he will not do it. That is a statement credited to Femi Adesina, the special advisor to the president on media.
Either we like it or not, as it stands, I'm talking about today. If the president comes out for election today, he will win. Today, I'm talking about today, despite all the challenges. It is my opinion that as of today, if the president comes out, he's going to win election today.
Okay.
But again, this is not the Buhari of 2015. He has lost a lot of followership. It's like a number of people were actually expecting him to do, including me. I was expecting a lot of things. But it's like the problem of the nation, in all sincerity, is more than the capacity of the president. When you have a situation like this, and this the result you are going to get. And that does not mean that I should not score him very high on areas, especially on infrastructural development. He has been able to do wonderfully well because he has the capacity. One thing that people do not have in this part of the world is to continue the project of your predecessor. He has been able to raise the bar as far as that is concerned. Well, but on the issue of security, which is number one on his campaign promises, he has failed. On the issue of economy, which is number two or thereabout, it's not doing very well.
And corruption.
And corruption. In fact, if you ask me to put corruption on 10, anti-corruption fight,
yes,
or corruption fight, or any fight against, the fight against corruption, I'm going to score the president 3 over 10.
So if those are the 3 campaign promises and major, nobody, he said it, everything is captured in these 3. Yeah. So certainly we know that every president that comes, whether you say it or you don't say it, foreign policy is a must do for you.
Yeah.
You understand? And so on, a monetary policy, blah, blah, blah. So if you're scoring the president very low in those 3 points, then how do you say he has done wonderfully well?
I win the election.
Exactly.
No, the fact is that, forget about, see what wins election in Nigeria. I've been in this thing for close to 15 to 16 years, and I understand what I'm saying. It is not what you did right or what you did not do right that win election in Nigeria. We are, by 2015, and that was why I came on here the other time, and I was criticizing their 1 billion naira budget for security. You understand? Because anytime we are approaching election, there's what they call stomach infrastructure. Once the people see that, because of the level of our poverty, they are going to go there and vote. Yeah. So it is not whether your president has performed well or not. It's number one, the power of incumbency and how much money does he have to actually
didn't Goodluck Jonathan have that power of incumbency?
Yeah, exactly. In fact, we understand it's part of the campaign was funded in dollars, not even naira.
See, the Goodluck Jonathan, this thing.
That's why Sambo Dasuki is in custody right now.
In all honesty, Goodluck Jonathan got about 50 million votes or thereabout. Have you ever asked yourself, with the realistic failure of the past government, how come he got that kind of vote?
Okay.
It shows that money still played a significant role.
It's all right, no problem. The point there is 2015 was a threshold, was a paradigm shift, because an incumbent government in Nigeria has never been defeated.
A form of realization of Nigerians that
the power of the vote.
Power.
Now, if you get the report from INEC, they're saying certainly the number of registered voters is going to hit about over 80 million. People are getting PVCs. The paradigm is going to shift. Nigerians are realizing. So the way we used to understand it, the way we used to know how things run, may be changing anytime soon.
The irony of it all is that now, I don't know the number of political parties we have, but before 2019,
yes.
I am afraid we are going to hit the number 100.
Political parties.
Political parties. And now I have a project trying to encourage the young people to come into governance. And because of this, I have met with so many people. And I discovered that even as young men, ourselves is driving our ambition.
Yes. Do you have any other stories?
Yeah, we have fuel queues return to Lagos and Okun. I know, apart from Lagos, they have never left anyway. Go to Abuja, go to other states in the north, in the east, in north central. They've never left.
You see, I'm always afraid because we seem to know the solution to our problem, but we are not equipped to do what we know. That's the problem. Everybody knows that as long as we still determine, as long as the world price still determines whatever we sell here, that we are still going to continue to have this problem. Because I do not expect the marketers, for example, to buy product and run at a loss. I am not expecting it. But if in the last 3 years, we have decided as a nation that we are going to build one refinery, instead of packing our money to support a capitalist.
Which refinery, please?
I'm just saying that if we have decided to build just one refinery that is working, and that's what I'm saying.
Dangote refinery. Now we hear reports from Edo State is saying the government has just signed a contract to build the refinery, a modular refinery.
Some years back, I was part of a committee. There was this Olokola free trade zone in Ondo State. They wanted to build a refinery there. I was part of the committee. And so before I knew it, everything just went off.
Licenses for modular refineries were given until now.
Yeah, we're still,
Okay, so we go to the Nation newspaper, and the major story here is scary. Security agents, Islamic State fighters in Nigeria. Suspects held in Edo, Kogi, Benue. They say they've been operating in some areas in South and the North Central regions.
When you say Islamic State fighter, I wonder what you mean, because the best language to use is Boko Haram. That's the truth, because these people had actually pledged allegiance to ISIS the other time. They have always been part of us. They have always been part of us. And this is what I said the other time, that it's like if a non-thief visits your house, your kid can actually hide under the umbrella to steal meat in your pot. This is what it means. Because of the fact that we did not take care of the herdsman issue, a number of people are going to hide under this thing. You remember what happened in Ondo State? Was it just yesterday that the former secretary to the government of the Federation was actually saying that they came to burn his farm? And I talked about it all night. I was trying to make sense out of it. Should we continue to say herdsmen of people are actually hiding under this platform because they know that the federal government has not been decisive in dealing with them? Nobody is going to hide under Boko Haram, for example. We know how the federal government has been hitting them hard. Nobody is going to hide under IPOB, for example. We know how the federal government has been dealing with them. But because the federal government is just dealing with them anyhow, people can hide under perpetrating evil.
Well, but since this report came out yesterday or a few days ago, a lot of people are skeptical about it. They're saying, well, the point there is that may just be diversionary. We know that certainly the Islamic State for West Africa, whatever it's called, if they are operating and you find them the elements in Nigeria, why are they operating in areas that cattle have been attacked, and then they come to fight and then they leave?
You see, there's nothing as sacrosanct and important as the truth. If you tell the truth, if I come out to say, it's a sign of good leadership. If I come out to say,
Dino Melaya is saying, if you tell the truth, you die. If you don't tell the truth, you die.
I'm going to take us back a little bit. And that was the election in Edo State. When the security agencies came out and said, oh, we cannot hold the election because of security report. I was part of those people that came out and said, it's a lie. It was because of the fact that they didn't plan very well. They never knew it was going to clash with WAEC. And they came out to lie that it was because of security issues. But it was very glaring. So if you put some of these lies together, even when the government is telling the truth, people find it very difficult to believe.
Okay, so quickly, on the heels of the scarcity queues coming back to the filling stations and, of course, suspicion of scarcity, NNPC rolls in 250 trucks as petrol crisis returns. That's the news now, that supplying Moman, not even Napma, with petrol to supply to Nigeria.
You see, my friend, what was the name of this woman in my 12? We now understand Moma, Dapma. What they want is that they want to get home and operate their generator. They don't even have vehicles. They want to just buy fuel at 145 naira.
Their grinding machines should work.
So the government, the grammar of government does not make
because
money to
they are the
these people.
supplier of their own electricity.
Yeah, electricity.
Exactly.
They don't rely on whatever megawatts you have.
All right, let's get to the Daily Sun now. DSS uncovers foreign terrorists in Benue and others as federal government identifies 1,400 illegal border routes. Now, the DSS discovery, we've talked about that. But the other side of the flip side of it is the federal government identifying 1,000. Now, the question there is, we've had analysts here who have said, sometimes it sounds like the government doesn't even know this country enough. Is it now? After how many? After 50, over almost 60 years, and the government is identifying
That an average Nigerian knows that the borders are porous.
Are porous.
The government of Nigeria has never known Nigeria well enough. And when I tell people that I'm traveling to one particular place and they're asking you, what are you going there to do? I say, I just want to go and see things so that I can understand at least this is, you understand.
Yes.
Now let me cite an example. Former President Goodluck Jonathan set up a committee to know the number of ministry and agencies and how they want to merge it. They call it the Oronsai committee,
yes,
if you remember.
Yes, yes.
When they turned in the report, a friend of mine in Nassau said the president was very surprised. That so we have this
number of agencies.
So it shows that if you do not understand the agencies in your government, how do you want to know the number of routes? And to add salt to the injury, the Nigerian factor. We as a people, we get the kind of leadership we deserve. Because some of these people come into the country without being questioned. Why? Because money has exchanged hands at the lowest level of the structure. Now we are not talking about the fault of the president or the governor. We are talking about our fault as a people. Yeah. Are we really willing to develop as a people? The answer is no. So these people come into Nigeria because they can tip a number of people. As we speak now, I think there's a ban on vehicle from Cotonou and this border here. But I tell you, daily people still drive into Lagos. And they just tip here and there, clear the way.
Okay, Buhari's health will determine 2019 move. That's the president is saying that. It says president out for free, fair elections. And then we have ex-militants threatening to resume armed struggle. This is another time bomb we're sitting on in case it goes off. One way or the other, this is on the heels of rumors that the head of the amnesty, the special advisor to the president, the head of the amnesty program might be removed. So if you touch him, we are going to resume hostilities and so on.
They actually talked about restructuring too.
Yeah, they talked about restructuring.
Yes, and I'm like, wow. You see, the problem that we have in Nigeria is that a Yoruba man thinks the Hausa man is his problem. And that is major. A Christian thinks that the Muslim is the problem. Meanwhile, the Christian man goes to church on Sunday, shouts hallelujah, comes to traffic on Monday, start cursing themselves as Christians. If a Yoruba man who is a governor in a Yoruba state use the allocation of the Yoruba people to develop the land of the Yoruba people, these agitations will have reduced. I don't know whether you can make sense out of it. So at this point in time, I don't want the Niger Delta Avenger to think that, oh, we want to force the federal government to restructure because our man is not there. Because that is how it's looking now. Because our man is not there, we just want to hold the government by the jugular. That's how it's looking. Beyond whatever agitation you have, I think majorly this thing, I was publicity secretary of Ijaw Youth Council, Southwest Zone, the Western Zone, for a period of time. And my agitation then had always been, see, we want to develop our people. People are not busting pipeline because they want to make money. The agitation was, we want to develop the people. But the agitation has shifted now, that if the federal government does not give me money, I'm going to bust pipeline.
Exactly.
That is the problem of the Nigerian people. We ourselves. And until we begin to look beyond the little gains that we can get from government, we're not going to develop our land. And that's why we may continue to produce the wrong set of people who think they are gods at their pockets.
It's all right. That's that.
Brings it back in the Donwani case.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so we'll go to the Vanguard newspaper. Herdsmen set Falai's farm ablaze in Ondo. We won't take it lightly, Afenifere. Blame Buhari for attack, Adebanjo. We talked about that a little bit.
Yes, it's actually very sad. Everybody is going to point accusing fingers at the president. It is understandable. I am not part of those people who will think these people are killing because the president is a Fulani man. But I'm part of those people who think these people will continue to kill if the president is not decisive about dealing with them. And that is very important.
All right. So we'll go to another one. We don't have supply. DAPMA, IPMAN, as fuel scarcity resurfaces in Lagos. We talked about that earlier. Okay, cattle colonies. FG won't forcibly take land from states. That's credited to the Minister of Agriculture, Aldogwe.
The federal government cannot. It's not won't.
It doesn't even have the rights to.
Even when you have the legal power, you cannot, because you are going to just fuel crisis. Fuel crisis that the silence of government has made very loud. The thinking of the people now is that, oh, the government is supporting them. So the federal government cannot. It's not even will not. Cannot. Even when they are thinking it, they will not, because it's going to lead to a lot of crisis. I have been trying to read, and I was discussing with this thing. I have an engagement somewhere outside the country in some few months. And I was telling my woman yesterday that the first thing I'm going to do is to visit how these, at least modern economies, deal with their cows. How they are able to ranch them.
Ranches.
You understand?
Ranches. That's it.
The government, we should think about this. It's going to help our economy. This thing we are eating that we call cow is poverty that we are eating. If you have tasted the other meat, they are succulent, they are soft, and they are even bigger. So, and because we are used to this poverty of cattle coming all the way from the north to trek to the south, and we are breaking bones, and we think we are enjoying. I think we need to experience the other side of life.
All right, finally, another story on the herdsmen and farmers clashes. Watch your words, a laugh in one's fellow monarchs. And that advice should really be to all Nigerians. Right?
Yes, it is, because there's the need, as much as we are passionate about whatever the problem is, there's the need for us to also be calm, to let everybody understand that there's no alternative to peace. In my own estate, I see herdsmen walk past every evening. And whenever I drive home, I say, hey, if Yawa should gas today now, how many people are really safe? That's just the question. So there's the need for us to tackle this issue very carefully, to continue to engage the government, to continue to engage the herdsmen, so that at least this phase can actually
For the herdsmen, analysts are saying the Nigerian Fulani herder is still as peaceful and still as innocent as he used to be 20, 30 years ago. They are still the ones carrying sticks that you see every day. The ones killing and all of that are those mercenaries who are paid. Those are reports we read. Now, let's move to this day newspaper. The central bank holds rates, considers emergency MPC meeting in February, and the governor of the central bank, Godwin Emefiele, is saying economy is still strong, gains will be sustained. Yes,
I do not expect them to actually change this thing for now, because they say you don't change a winning team. Either we like it or not, the economy is bouncing back well, and I need to commend this government for it. It was a big shocker. When they were coming into power, they thought money would be everywhere. That once you enter Aso Rock, you just open one Ghana must go. And they never knew that some people packed it and left with it with the past government. So when they got there, they were confused, totally confused. And that was why they were trying to blame everybody so that they can buy time. But now it's like they've got some of these things together. If you look at even our stock market, it's doing well. The capitalization has gone up really well. And I am really very happy that they now have to consolidate this gain by solving the problem of unemployment. By all means, at all costs. Because if you do not solve the problem of unemployment, an average Nigerian can still not relate.
Nigerians are still benefiting from the N-Power program. A lot of people from, at least we've heard,
of the former administration.
No, the one now, the N-Power program right now, where the 500,000 people that were supposed to, the youths that were supposed to employ, where they employed about 300,000 and they were waiting to get the others in. Some persons.
But then the former administration puts such program.
That was a Shore P program. That had issues here and there, but the N-Power, people benefited, but right now people are still benefiting, so it's all right.
Yes, so I'm expecting the government to do more, because you need to understand the mindset of people. Not every one of us in a country of about 200 million people, not everybody will be entrepreneurs. Not everybody. So you need to understand the mindset of people. What exactly do you want? Okay, do you want a paid job? How do we make it? Because either we like it or not now, a number of people with my leadership engagement with companies, I can tell you that companies are still closing down due to the dollar rate. It is still not favorable. one of the things that affects the price of petroleum product is still the issue of dollar. So we must continue to work to drive down. And how do we drive down? It's simple logic. We drive down by producing more for our people to consume. We drive by letting them understand that no, if you feed on the local product, it's going to have effect on your economy. But the people are not going to accept that if they cannot trust you. So the issue of believability comes in, and it goes back to the government. Let your yea be yea and your nay be nay.
Simply lead by example.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Well, John, you have another story?
No, that's all.
Thank
That's
you very
all
much for coming onto the show to analyze the papers for us this morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Right. We will go on a break, and when we come back now, we'll be talking about the call by the House of Reps to declare a state of emergency in security. Stay with us now.